go selective.
What do you think of that then, Brian?
I don't know. I think it's the kind of number that the audiences can sing along with at the gigs, you know. Whoa.
The whole point of these albums is to let people hear what we heard, the music that inspired us.
Yeah, instead of people always dismissing reggae by saying, oh, it all sounds the same, you know, I mean, like...
Yeah, the classic tunes, tunes.
You listen to every one of them and none of them sound the same as, you know, anything else.
That's right. Tell it like it is, Terry.
That's right, son.
Here it comes. A new kind of fashion. Cause this your fashion in a Russian. Kaboom! Baby, be true. And I'll give my love to you. I mean it, baby. Treat me right. And I love you day and night. I mean it, baby. I'll give my world to you now, baby. I'll do what you ask me to now, baby. I mean it, baby.
Well, Baby was written in Trenchtown in a man named Mr. Carrot Yard, you know. It's a house where we're going to go cool out more time as a little youth because it keeps you off of the street, you know. So we'd have some girls then, Ivy, Vita, Jennifer, you know. We always, when we rehearse now, we always say them go to shop, go buy a one cigarette or food for cook around a boat. You know boat? Boat is like, that's if you have cooking, you know, as a poor man in the ghetto, you know, and send them. But all the while, when I send them all, they say, oh, you send me a shop every minute for one thing, and we just get the other right big bitch off them, you know? Yeah.
And how did they inspire the song?
They inspire the song? Of their action around us, you know, the action around us. Yeah, and it went to #1 in Jamaica.
In tune to the bound champion sound of the whole wide world. UB40, the castle of Ike, laid us the fool.
All the ones on this album were #1 in the reggae charts. All the songs were #1 at one time, you know. But the reggae charts only sold to a tiny percentage of the people, so people don't get to hear them. Yeah. But now they will.
In the period that we're talking about, it's just before Bob Marley, the big, you know, Rasta explosion. And like, most of the songs are love songs. They're not, you know, political in any way. In fact, I don't think any of them are. They're all like love songs, you know. And it is, you know, a nice period, romantic period.
I wanna treat you right. I wanna love you day and night. I wanna give my heart away. I wanna love you night and day. I mean it, baby.
It's nostalgia, you know. They all remind us of when we were kids, you know. I discovered reggae, I suppose, when I was about, seriously, I suppose I was about 11 years old, because we'd moved into an area that was predominantly black, and all of a sudden there was reggae all around me, you know, and I'd never heard it before. I'd heard, you know, Millie, My Boy Lollipop and stuff like that, you know. But other than that, I was listening to the Beatles and the Stones and whoever else was around at the time, and all of a sudden, you know, I heard this music which was alien to anything else I'd heard, really, and I was intoxicated. I loved it, you know. It's and that's what it's all about. That's what Labour of Love is about, you know. It's a collection of songs that we grew up on. It's as simple as that. No, what, you know, individual ones don't remind me of particular events or girlfriends or anything like that. I don't think. It's just an era, you know. And it's the forming of you know, of yourself and your tastes and everything else, you know. It's what we grew up on.
I want all you skinheads to get up on your feet. Put your braces together and your boots on your feet. And give me some of that old moon stamping. Get ready. We got 3 million miles to reach on the moon. So let's start getting happy now. Ready?
what extent has reggae invaded the consciousness of the white youth in Britain? Well, the first thing that emerges is that in accepting reggae, the skinheads have rejected something else. That rejection is a rejection of the middle class with its existential, mystical, hippie-style music, which is unable to cater to the social needs of the skinheads. Through the medium of the reggae, the black youth does this extremely well.
That first wave of skinheads was very much associated with reggae music, and it was a multicultural thing, a multiracial thing as well. You know, the second wave, the skins were sort of manipulated, weren't they, by the British movement. And
at the time, I think the skinheads played a major role in bringing it from a level of just young black kids getting into the music or older black people making the music. They brought it into, okay, let's take this over like most white kids are able to do, claim things. I think they were able to take it and say, okay, let's make it our music. And it raised from the level of going into the houses to, next thing we know, it was on top of the pubs, Radio 1, the skinheads were saying this is our music, and it brought about a kind of movement between the black and white, and they were responsible for bringing about a major change in the music industry.
Look on my foot, or my feet, whatever you want to call it.
So did you become a skinhead because of the music, or...?
I wasn't a skinhead, I was a spider. Some of the others were skinheads. Astro was a skinhead, which is how he got his name, because he used to wear these boots, astronaut boots. See, he was a boot boy.
Now, Homagan Studio Selective.
I've got to find sweet cherry. She's gone. I've got to find sweet cherry. She's left me all alone. Cherry, come go and cherry, cherry.
There's a few in there we've got to do again. The last two are really crap. Go back and do it. Back and drop us in.
Surfing in life deserts me too.
Well, this, I know it doesn't look like much now, but this happened to be the very first place that I ever went to. As you can see, it's a youth club, and at the time I think I was about 12 or 13. And the reason why I used to come here was because my parents used to live just down the bottom of the Warwick Road, and I could cycle here and cycle home before my parents' time limit was up. At the time that I was coming here, they just released a tune called Grooving Out on Life, which was done by Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. Also Stick By Me by Eric Donaldson. It had just come out around the same time, and we used to go to another club up the road every now and again. But as you can see, things and times have changed, and it's now turned into a wholesale bedding company, but that's life.
Like me, Ali, Brian and Jimmy, we all used to go around the school just around the corner. And so like when we used to skip school, we used to come and see Norman, you know, play records, smoke cigarettes. You know.
Another weekend, then down the bottom of this house, this is 38 and that's 42, I think, or 44. And that's where all the blues parties used to go on, which was, you know, a real new experience to us because it was music that was never played on the radio. And yeah, I could hear this bass sound come through the roof because it's a terrace house, and I used to wonder what it was. And having a sister, and John, who used to run the blues, having 4 daughters, my sister got involved with them, and that's how I got introduced into the music as it was, and it was like I said, like an early age.
And there is a special thing about going to a blues, because it's in someone's house. It's either got a great atmosphere or it's like you don't want to be there, you know what I mean? But like most times you want to be there, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it'd be like violence, you know, whatever. You know, a lot of drinking, and you know, smoking of substances that you shouldn't supposed to have and stuff, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, but I mean, it was like, you know, it was a thing to do when he was young, you know, to go to a blues party and stay up till 4 o'clock, you know, and, you know, sneak back home and stuff, you know what I mean?
Well,
it's like,
growing
all
up
part of
before you
growing up.
really are, right?
Yeah.